So it finishes Schalke 2, Borussia Dortmund 2. Archie caught up with Aaron Terzic after the game.
Edin, the winning run in the Bundesliga comes to an end. On Derby Day, no less. That must hurt. How would you analyse the game today?
So we said it before the game that there are two ways to play this game tonight. There's the way that they want it, a bit wild, a bit emotional, a bit passionate, or if we play our football. And this is what we did, especially in the first half. We played some decent stuff. It was very hard for them to get on the ball. It was very hard for them to press us. And we had some really good opportunities in the first half to even get 2-0 up. But then in the second half, we did what they wanted. So it was an open game. We opened the door again. We've been 2 times up, and then still we concede counterattacks. And yeah, this is how it goes. Now two times in this week we had a disappointment, but I think it was totally different on Tuesday. On Tuesday the opponent was much better than us, and it was a deserved defeat. But today we played some good game, but we didn't kill it, and that's the thing that makes us a bit disappointed. Not a bit, very disappointed and frustrated tonight.
To be only still 2 points off Bayern Munich at the top, given that you said you were starting at a minus going into 2023, that's still something that must please you, just not right now.
For sure, it's still a good situation we're at, but we could have it better tonight, and that's frustrating because we are getting such questions. Are you fighting for the trophy? We want to improve our game, and this is the reason why we are so humble, because we know that we are not on that level at the minute. We have to show it. We showed some really good stuff, but again we opened the door for the opposition, and if we want to achieve the maximum in this season, we have to stop it and play our game for 90 minutes.
Edin Terzic then catching up with Archie after the game. What does it all mean? Well, as they said, 2 points now separate Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund at the top of the table. Let's start, shall we, with that Dortmund draw. Shaq, where did it get wrong? Where did it go wrong for them today?
I thought they allowed Schalke to dominate the second half. I thought they allowed emotion into the game, which Terzic spoke about there in his post-match interview. I thought they handled the emotion of the first half wonderfully well. Sat off to start with, just allowed the game to take shape, and Dortmund were the better team in the first half. But you knew that Schalke would come out in the second half. You knew what to expect, but it wasn't that same approach. They played on the front foot, they allowed room in behind, crowd got involved, Schalke got the equaliser, and in truth, even though Guerrero then makes it 2-1, and then Bino Gittins had a glorious opportunity to make it 3-1. I thought Schalke were the better team in the second half, and as a result, a 2-2 draw and a share of the spoils was fair.
How difficult is it, Steve, in these situations where you want to go in and you want to control the game, but that derby atmosphere kind of takes over?
It's really down to concentration, because when you get yourself in the position where you're in control of the game, if you keep your concentration, keep doing what you're doing, keep listening in your head to the messages that the manager gave you, then you should be fine. That whole emotion is taken out of the game. But when you lose concentration and then you let them back in it, then you have to start again. And they couldn't get going again.
And of course, a significant result regarding the title race. Borussia Dortmund put together that fantastic run, but Bayern Munich back in their stride, Shaq. But goodness me, they did let Augsburg back into it on more than one occasion. Yeah, and you give Augsburg the start that they did, but I thought Bayern Munich dominated throughout. Again, kind of showing a soft side to them in conceding even two further as the game went on. But they just have so many tools going forward. They just overpowered Augsburg. That's the challenge for everybody in the Bundesliga, how you deny Bayern Munich when they're in this kind of form and show this kind of strength. The one thing, I guess, that you somehow have to try to spin into a positive from a Dortmund perspective is that Bayern is still in the Champions League. You now only play weekend to weekend. Maybe that catches up with them. But ordinarily, come turn of the year, if Bayern Munich get their noses in front, it's hard to deny them. Pavard took his goal as well today.
Oh, really, really well. The second in particular, I thought it was creative. Somehow he finds room in the box and found a volley that I'm not quite sure where he did. The first I thought was simple, just following in from the set piece, and Sadio Mane just helps that back into the danger area. Pavard, right place, right time. The second was, of course, the far more difficult, the far more impressive. He just peels off into space. Somehow the ball comes to him. How you control that, I'm not quite sure. What a volley that is.
High boot, Burley?
Sorry?
High boot?
No, I was okay with that
You're
one.
okay with that one? Oh, that's good.
There was no violence in that. But, you know, you look at the Dortmund squad and you look at the Bayern squad and it's chalk and cheese. In fact, you look at Bayern squad and put it alongside Man City squad, which we always kind of talk about as the benchmark sometimes when everybody's fit. But we saw in midweek against PSG, the players that they had on the bench. We've seen the changes that they've been able to make today. So it's going to be really tough for Borussia Dortmund to go all the way with them because they're probably not going to give up many points, if any. And that means Dortmund are going to have to be flawless. And you look at their defence, Hummel's in today. They're not great at keeping clean sheets against the better side. So it's looking like Bayern are going to take this by the scruff of the neck and run away with it.
That's it for you, Shaka.
That's great.
One and done.
Anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm good.
No?
No, I'm ready to go.
All right, well, we're ready for you to go as well. Just a reminder, the Klassiker, of course, live on ESPN Plus, April the 1st. A massive game then in Munich as Bayern take on Borussia Dortmund. Be sure to join us for that. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.